Hello everybody, Mike Cornwell here with another Node and Layers coding video. Um, I was working on the toolkit in my last video. You can go and see that video. And I got to the point where it's like, okay, now I'm going to make, it's super easy to build one of these systems where you just go click, boom, build, and it just scaffolds everything out. And then I ran into, it's like, okay, well, let's put in the default code that you would get right out of the gate, and so that your system would work. And as with any tool developer like myself, I'm sitting there looking at it like this should be like the most minimal amount of code ever, because that's how I build my frameworks. I build my frameworks so it's like just put in like that one tiny thing. And why would I want to like copy paste all this code and like do it multiple times? It just doesn't make any sense. So I found real quickly, I'm like, okay, with the SDK concept or a client where you have like a central place, so you put all your types and your models, and it's basically where all your definitions go, and it can be used everywhere, to include like reusable library code and stuff like that. So I go and I look at this and I'm like, why in the heck am I going to copy and paste this into every single person's project so that they then have to maintain, for example, an MCP connection and stuff like that? So I have an MCP client. There is a Node and Layers MCP client. It is about that big of functionality. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take all the functionality out of an existing system right now and then put it in there and go from there. So that's what we're going to work on today. Let's hop right into the code. Let's see. Oh, we're not doing that one. All right, so this one right here, I've got kind of a clean setup. Let me see. Looks like this is cut off a little bit. Okay, we fixed that. Okay, you're diving right into it. I've got another, I'm going to close the toolkit stuff. I'm working on that, but that's not it. I have another library down there. I'm not going to open that up because that's some of my proprietary code. But I'm going to pull out all of these like common features and stuff and put it in here. It's actually kind of already here. So I'm looking at it now. What we're working on very specifically, there's a couple different parts to the client. So we're in this MCP client here. I'll go ahead and close it and orient you around. Okay, so this right here is a package. This is a Node and Layers package. And what it's going to give you is it's going to give you the create client. I don't know why that's, what is this complaining about? Oh, I see. Yeah, so it's going to export that. Let me fix this. Now that's types. What am I doing? This. Really getting out of doing the exports at the bottom. It's a good idea, but once you start talking about doing like a number of exports and managing them and finding out what is actually exported, I'll admit, I really don't like it. I thought I would like it, and I did a lot of projects with it, but I have completely gotten away from it. I just do not like it. I'd way rather just do exports going out, because at the end of the day, for the most part, the way that I do development and the way that I really think development should go is everything is publicly exported unless you're doing like an underscore function name, and you should keep those to a minimum. It does make sense to have them, but you should keep them to a minimum. And the reason that doesn't mean that you export it out to the world. So like, for example, this library, I'm not going to export everything. I'm just going to export this client, create client. I'm also going to export this data thing, which was currently existing there, which this right here is itself a, yeah, see, this is, oh, and actually, I agree. This actually does need to change. This needs to be that. And then that's already done. I remember what I needed to do now. I needed to create namespace. Export enum namespace. And we should do MCP client namespace. That's fine. I really don't think we need root. So we need client, MCP, and data. Yep. Okay. And we need that because also try to make all the exports at the bottom. That's like another good practice. Also, just export it out. Okay. what this client is going to allow you to do. This data one, super useful. It's very small. There's, it's just this tiny little thing. But what it is it creates this data store provider and this get model props. And what this does is it allows you to send models over MCP, no problem. It just auto loads the thing. And you basically, it just gets set as it gets set here in this config, which I need to actually update right now. You know what? I got to look at other code off screen to actually see how I'm normally doing this. Sorry, I wish I could show you absolutely every single bit of my code. I promise you, I wish I could. All right, so this right here is part of the config. I might actually copy and paste this out too. Right. Oh, that's right. So you need to pass in the apps. Right, a basic config. See, I'm doing this a little differently than in my other thing because now I'm like exposing this stuff out. Ugh, let me get rid of all this nastiness. I ended up trying to go a different way with this. So then this right here is that. I got to double check all these types. Config. So the way that this works, which is a little bit different than other areas, is let me see. Okay, I've got to copy. No, I can't do that. You got to be able to pass in the apps, which is fundamentally different than the way that I had been doing this. So you're going here. What you need is I'm going to call it domains. So you've seen in my other videos, we're trying to make this kind of large shift out of using the word app. I don't like the word app. It's very not helpful. Of course, somebody is calling me, so let's put this on pause. All right, we're back. Okay, so where were we? Domains, loading the domains. Yeah, you got to have the domains. They got to be preloaded. Got that. Logging. Oh, I see. Oh, yeah. I'm looking at this going like, yeah, this totally makes sense that, well, how does this normally work? I'm thinking out loud right now, looking at, a normal config. So I'm just going to copy and paste this in here. Actually, I'm going to copy paste it wherever the code is. Right here. No. Oh, no. The config. All right. Can then also do, all right, get rid of everything. Close to the right. Yes, types. This can also have a partial on a config. That way we can override. So you can pass anything you want into that. And then this, I'm gonna bring in merge. Look at that, it knows exactly what I'm looking for. And then we're gonna merge that with config. We're actually gonna go the other way around. Oh, no. No, I want that. This is kind of the one slightly unfunctional thing that I do, but it is for performant reasons, which is this merge here. The first object, which you can put multiple, the first object is actually mutated, which is fine because the containment of what that's being mutated is right here. But this object is not mutated. So I don't know what they're doing with this object. And so I don't want to play around with it. But I do know that if you put another object inside of here, it is dog slow to actually do the merging. So I always put my information that I'm fine getting mutated inside of here. And also, it's basically the thing that's being overridden, so it kind of all just works out. So we got our layer order here. Model factory is this. This right here is our namespace. Namespace. Oh man, no, you're just being ridiculous now. Yep. And then, yes, so basically this is saying I want to use the data one that we already have for the model factory. We definitely want our model CRUDs. This going here, and then it loads the config, and then I think this is done. Now I'm trying to decide if I want to do this. I've done this in the past. I don't think I want to do this, so let's get rid of this. So basically what it's doing is it's loading a node and layer system right here, and then it's just showing and exposing the features. Whoa. Creates a configuration, or creates a client. The node and layers and returns only the features portion. All right. Returns the features of the node and layers client SDK. Okay. So that's that. And nope, that needs to get replaced. I like those. Okay, so we got our client, we got our namespace. The other thing too, we need to do with our README. Add the following to your, oh, no. If you are using the provided client, then you don't need to do any configuring. However, use the get model props directly to add the following. Let's do this. To your configuration. README. Node and layers core. Node and layers MCP client. Let's also go ahead and do core namespace. I think that's what's actually provided. I gotta go double check this. I think it's that. Let's see what this looks like. Whoa. What are you doing? That. Okay. Let's put another kind of space there between. Let me look at the top of a regular config. I normally do something like this. Let me look at it. Also will tell me about this core name. Yeah, core namespace dot root. Look at that. I got it memorized. No, I don't do it very often. Okay, your system name. Okay. The data namespace. There it is. All right. So we got our documentation in place on this. So let's move on to the next thing because it's really not the meat. The meat is here. There's so many cool things inside this. Well, in my opinion. I got to modify a lot of stuff how this works. MCP Client config. Do I not have that? No. This is, if I go down to here, where's the actual, okay. I see. I got to do from client. I don't think I like this. I'd rather do it here, which is I think where it originally used to live. And we'll do that, pull that out. We'll do that. Okay. Don't need any of that. All it's going to do is affect this. Where does that come from? That comes from here. What are you doing? That's a client config. No, this is a client basic config. Okay, MCP. Why? What's wrong with this? Oh, I gotcha. Okay, don't need that. Config. Oh, well, this is as a client config. So now it's good. All right. You know, actually, I need to go back. I need to fix this. What I really need to do is I need to do tconfig extends client config. It's got to be user. No, I don't need a user here. Don't know what just happened. Oh, this is back to, whoops. Back here, this needs to have tconfig. Extends client config. Oh gosh, no. What are you doing? Sometimes the tab is like kind of extreme. Yes. All right. I already did that. Oh, I changed my thing. Cannot find client config. That comes from here. Boom. All right. It's a very common one is making sure to have like a good set config. Although I don't know if it really even matters, to be honest, because this system, if you're just coming back with features, I mean, it's like, who cares? All right, I'm getting rid of this. Sorry, this is sometimes just how it works. I don't have like the most perfect. I don't need that. Yeah, that's fine. All right, so then now we're gonna we needed that because we have to go all the way back to, I don't even know where it was. Was it here? There's a lot of stuff I got to do here, a lot of simplifying. This is actually going to be a client config. Should be right here. Yep, credentials. Key. Direct token. This is also going to have what are the other parts of this? Formatter. Okay, we got to do that. We don't need API key anymore. Did it require the API key? I'd say this is a requirement because it doesn't matter which one we're talking about. It's got to have that. Yes. Okay. And then the header equals if there is a header, then no, don't do that. Should be authorization. Okay. Then yeah, I'm looking at this. Request init. Oh, they're all the same. It's like hard to see what the heck this thing is talking about. Yep, and then I don't need any of this other junk. Don't need this. Oh, that's true. Oh, if it doesn't have auth, that's really the question. Does it have auth or doesn't have auth? And if it doesn't have auth, then we don't need this. Okay, we'll do that right there. If it has auth, just get rid of that. Yeah, that's fine. This is all the same here too. Don't need any of this. Nope, do that right there. So then I just do that. Oh, yeah, no. This is request init. And then headers. Header, boom. And then dude, stop. And then yep. Done. All right, so all I did here was I basically just updated this and kind of made it a lot more simple of how it goes about doing the token, doing the authorization stuff. Yep. Okay. String or undefined. It should be able to be string. Oh, I didn't make it undefined again. Actually, yes. All right. Okay, it's got all that going. It's got disconnect. Now I changed it around with like kind of this logging, because yeah, that's like the next thing we got to do is like modify this logging stuff. So now what we need to do. Oh, I need to change this interface. I don't like it. Well, maybe. I don't know. That ID is actually very useful. Well, what should be happening here is we have cross-layer props. I don't think we need an ID if we have a cross-layer props. It doesn't matter, because if this gets called, it's going to automatically pass it some IDs. That's kind of the amazingness of that. I'm going to get rid of this because it's not needed. I don't think this has an ID. It does, but it's not used for really anything. Oh, I see. That's fine. I'm just going to do the same thing up here. Yeah, it's this ID right here. But how do I use it? Then I do that. That's kind of stupid. I don't need this. Oh. I'm seeing it all like come together now, like how this ID would go in, it would flow through the system, and why we would maybe want a new ID, and why this is relevant too. Because the reality is it's going to go in this cross-layer props. That's a big one here. This is for execute tool. It is just used for any kind of what is this? Oh, it's actually interesting. I'm dawdling so I can think. All right. Let's go ahead and do this. So, although I'm trying to think about the log thing. The reality is you need how would this work? You create a client, you pass in the cross-layer properties. You have to create a log, but you would want to use their logger, which is what would be passed in. But you would want to. I'm trying to think about how to make this, because you might create a client once and use it throughout your whole system. If you do that, you're not going to have, when you do the logging, I think this is why I did the logging this way, where I basically was like, I'm not going to be responsible for doing your logging. That's what it is. I'm going to go back to that. That was actually a lot sager than I thought. So in order to do that, let's go client. I got to go type. Nope, it's in, I'm going off screen here. I'm going to copy back this. And I'm going to put it down here, types. Yep. All right, in order, and then now I'm going to get rid of this and this. What I'm going to do is I got to bring in this. Yeah, the problem is you can't pass in a logger because that logger would be too far back in the stack based on when this could actually be created. Um, yeah, this is like a node and layers system within a node and layers system. That's why this is just a little different. Um, Now what I can do, I could provide a libs where I could do export log MCP request. And what you do is you put a logger here, and then no. You're killing me, Smalls. Functional. Okay, then you do something like this. Logger ID from this. Yes, and there's what I want. I love the tab. Give me the tab. More tab. More tab. I would then say options, and then I would have like log level names, and then okay. This is really stuck over there on that. Yeah, error tool ID response. Cool. So I'm going to export those. Let me make sure that I do that. I'm going to do export everything from libs. Export. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same from here too. Export everything from okay. That way that's very easy to access. Okay, let's get back. So we've got all these. There's really not much I need to actually do. Oh, no. This also needs cross-layer props. No, come on, you're killing me here. This doesn't have cross-layer props. It absolutely should. And then same here and here. Oh. I'm now trying to think if this actually even makes sense. Because I mean, I could do. I can't do the cross-layer props on it. I could probably do that. Could do this. I actually don't want to do that. That's actually really not a good idea. So instead of doing cross-layer props, like which is what I've got going on right here, they're going to have to handle their own. But this will add this here, and it will track across these, so that's good. No cross-layer props. Nope, no. And no. And let's go back here. No, no. No, no. Yes, it's going to pass this in, which is this object here. It's going to come into here. They're going to have pre-configured all this. Oh, no, they're doing it when it goes... I know what I'm doing wrong here. It's so crystal clear to me. Log. Yes. Contacts at log. Get inner logger. Execute tool. Then we got cross layer props. I should be doing the log. Well, no, because the context when it comes. Oh, jeez, this is crazy. Oh, you know what? I think this is going to work, though. Because when I do this, it will... This should handle it, actually. Now that I think about it. Yeah, actually. Look at that. And I would probably want to go even further. Well, no, there's a function call. It would go in there, and then that would go in there. But that doesn't... Yeah. It would be it'd be the function ID. I don't need this ID anymore. Don't need it. Well, no, you still need an ID. It's a different reason though. I don't think I need this though. Well, let me think. Again, what makes this a little difficult from a tool builder perspective, my perspective is like I have to remember that this is being created inside of a node and layer system. So it's back here. And when it comes in here, it depends on, like right now, this says silent. Silent means you would get no logs. But obviously you can override that and it's going to have log format. But the question is how is it going to go out? You'd have to set that. Normally we do like a custom, right? Do I got a custom logger? Yeah. You would need to set the custom logger. Let me look at a real live system one right now. I've got my own log code, which I probably wouldn't mind including in some of these. Like I've got a database logger. Yeah, create a custom logger. This would be what is dropped in there, and it comes in here, composite logger. Now what it does is, so yeah, you have to configure a database in this right here in order for that to work. You basically have to pass you'd pass your normal config in, or a sub config to include with the database. Or what you do is you build a custom logger and you run it through your own log. Hey, this is tricky, man. This is tricky. I think we're good. I think I'm going to do this, though. You would want to set your own log format. Actually, oh yeah, it's going to do also the cross-layer calls. I'm going to want to do some ignoring. This is going a little bit longer than I was anticipating, but it's because I'm trying to like actually do some goodness here. What we need here is we need ignore layer functions. And then what we need is we need, do I have MCP Client? what we need is we need to ignore. We probably want to do execute tool in that. So these are fine. Disconnect. We probably want disconnect. We don't want get model props. That would be very bad. Yeah, we don't want any from this client one. Or from data. We don't want those. We're cool with MCP because what it'll do is it will fire off. Oh, but we don't want this. Create MCP feature. We don't want that either. Nope. We don't want that. So what this does, ignore layer functions. Basically, it ignores the cross-layer logging that automatically happens because this is not really kind of like a normal type of logging. This is like for internal use. This actually needs to go into services, though. I really don't think this is a feature to export. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out now. Nice thing about that is it reduces the complexity of various things that I got going on here. Create MCP feature. Okay. And then here, we actually don't need this. I'm going to delete it. Really don't see this making any sense. Features, delete this, put this into services. Ding. Then when we go to our this, what we want to do is we want to do, how does this work? Oh, you put services dot that. We don't want that. Now we need to probably integrate the logging. We don't need any of this anymore. And then here, we're going to do that. We need cross-layer props here. Actually, how does this work? It gets called inside the thing, and then it returns. Yeah, it's all good because it's going to be right here. I don't care about the cross-layer props in here. I don't even know if it exists, actually. Okay, so those are all good. Now what I want to do is I want to come in here. Did we get rid of this? We did. I've done this multiple times now. I'm just going to get rid of this whole thing. And then if they don't want logging, well, no, we'll do what I did before, which was we don't need this. We do need these. Request level. Okay. That way it's configurable. And you can technically silence them. So now what we need to do, no, what are you doing? Yep. Bink. Bink. Tool name, response. Right. Then we got our error, and then we got a response. Sweet. Okay. Very cool. Now what I'd like to know is if I could do the same thing This thing should just call execute tool. It just it just needs a name. Yeah, I really don't want to duplicate any of this junk. I don't even need this ID. Don't need this. Don't need any of this. Cool. All right. I think we're at a really good spot there. I don't think I need to touch any of this OAuth 2 stuff. And then the index here, we don't need that anymore. So now this MCP stuff is going to load automatically. Probably need to put some comments real quick on all this. No, we should be able to do like CLI connection. Doesn't have to be a server. Where is this used? Okay, I've got to do some grepping on this thing. Is this used anywhere? Oh, I see. I see. I mean, where is this used? Okay. Don't need this. Definitely want to get rid of as much as I can. Why do I need base URL? I actually don't even remember what that is. What is this base? We should have this watching. It's probably all sorts of broken. Okay. Oh, yep, that's gone now. Why would I need that? Oh, I am going to change this. Okay. All right. So that's that. There's still a bunch of this. Like where is this used? Where? MCP config. All right, I gotta look in this lower level library. This is our MCP AI library that we built. It's just some simple kind of like making it just a next level easier than using the Model Context Protocol SDK directly. Not a big fan of using it directly. There's so much crap that it should be a lot simpler than what they put out, but they're trying to put out a very flexible tool, so I get it. Most of that it's really not needed. MCP config. No. I'm looking for base URL. That's not used for anything. Let me see if it's something that's used in my other system. I really don't see how this is used. Yep, MCP connections. I'd rather just do this. I definitely don't need that. Just want to keep deleting. Delete everything I can. What is this? I don't think I need that either. All right, so stuff is going to start being complainy. Okay. Easy enough. Oh. Oh, geez. All right, I got to look this up. Because I don't see why not to do CLI or whatchamacallit. It makes total sense to do CLI. Node, what am I doing? This is back to MCP AI. I guess I could show you guys down here what I'm doing. Okay. I don't know where I want to look at this. Let's do, no, this really should be in, maybe aggregator. What I'm trying to find is the transport. This right here. Copy. Yep. Okay, then server. Oh. Server.connect. How does it know where to go? Oh, crap. This is totally wrong. I need to look for integrator. That's like how you start a server. Not server. Whoa. Right there. That. Okay, studio client transport. Here it is. Got it. Connections RV, done. All right. Is there any more complainy pants? Or are we actually done here? Node and layers, client, PM run build. I don't think I've got any tests, but might as well just run it anyways. Okay, yeah, I don't have any tests. Okay, I want to say we're in a good spot here. Let's run our npm run prettier. We're going to increment this because the other thing actually we need to do is we need to do the README. The recommended way of using this library is by using the create client function. This function provides the ability to an MCP, a streamlined SDK client for your features and models. Let's go ahead and give that example import create client from node and layers MCP client. Features, context, your config. Okay. And my feature. Client equals create client. The following is a recommended pattern for creating and using your own client. Okay, so here is actually going to be we would do this in services, and then actually why don't we just let's do it right here. Client, probably services. You're going to want to do that. Boom, 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 boom. What I would do is I would do this get client, and then I would actually this actually makes me think about putting cross-layer props actually through this. Oh, I'm thinking from the standpoint of like, okay, this is in your SDK. The code shown is would be in your own SDK library that could then be called from a front end. Okay, so what we got to do now, we want to do entries. Create a client. Let me look at my existing one. No. Right. So then everything as domain 1. Domain 2. Domain 3. Okay. So what you do, to make it really crystal clear, what you do is you do domain 1, domain 2, domain 3. And then I would do this. But you also have to have, let's leave all that the same. Oh, yeah. Okay, so now you need, it's actually part of, is that part of Cornell? Let me see. I'm trying to wonder. I'm looking at some code here, like system name and stuff. Okay, that's part of the regular config. I thought so. You know, I really need to look at this. What is this thing actually providing? Okay, so it's providing that logging stuff right there. Oh yeah, the custom logging. This would be in create client entries. Yeah. This needs to have system name, your system name. Actually, I should just get it straight from the context here. Okay, so we got that. Oh, this is actually. Oh, how am I doing this? Domains. Right. I see. We need to do that, and then when it comes into here, I didn't even think about this. Oh yeah, this is totally wrong. I have to do this. Duh. And all of this has to go in there as well. Boop. Let's get rid of this for a second. Omit. No. We don't need that twice. It's gonna have that, and then it's gonna have all that stuff in there. I don't like that. So that's all wrong anyways. Nope, that should go right. Ooh. Yes, there we go. So nobody has to worry about that kind of stuff. This is going to come in here. No. This is not even relevant. What am I doing? Not relevant. I see what's going on here. I see the problem. Problem is this config is not it's not a normal config. It's this, and it's this. Which is fine. Okay, I just want to make sure because I don't need domains or logging in the config actually going into the thing. I don't need that. Let's go back to the README though. Like I feel like that's all we actually need to provide. Oh no, we need the MCP stuff. Oh, where am I at? Am I in? There it is. What kind of information is this? Oh. Why don't we do that? And then, nope, this. These configurations to your main config. And configure the MCP client itself. Credentials. Oh yeah, that's right. Let's do OAuth 2. Maybe I'll actually show this. So here, where's OAuth 2 credentials? Do I have it in here? I'm guessing this is something that is provided. Yeah, it's provided here. So let's go to this definition. We can show it right here. What I'll do is I'll do this. Yeah, let's just do this. There's no need for a client secret. This is optional, right? Client secret doesn't make any sense. Okay, let me look at like real life because this doesn't make any sense. I'm going to look at an actual front end. Again, sorry, I can't show you. Where is it at? Oh, I should know. Here it is. Oh, I think I'm doing it via the OAuth token normally. In order to do it from the command line, you would have to you'd provide that OAuth 2 stuff. Yeah, because it's going to do the OIDC stuff. That's all on the front end. Okay. What I'm going to do here, what I'm we do that. And then what I'll do is I'll do credentials key you know what? Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna show this a little bit different of a way. Could do that, and then we'll do and then I'll copy paste it. Only useful if you want to use your client from a backend or CLI from the CLI. Seems like this is actually too far. Inside a front end, you likely use OIDC and pass an OAuth to here. Okay. And then you can do OAuth to props. All right. So you basically do that. Okay, let's see here in your client entries. Yeah. I think you're good there. So then create client. Did I export it? All right. Okay, and then now we're going to give an example of a front end. Can this do right? I'll just do TypeScript, okay? Source. And, components, my component.tsx. Okay, so then export const export default. Use your client oh yeah. Okay, let me see here. Okay, the recommended way to use this library is by using the client function. This function provides a streamlined SDK client for your models. You would put this in your SDK library and then consume this client code on a front end or another back end system. I didn't even think about it. The following example, you would put in your SDK, and then the instance would be created by the consumer of your backend MCP server. We have set this up so that it could be used from either a front end or another backend system, such as a CLI. Okay. So basically an OAuth 2 token or OAuth. You could also use your own. Oh yeah. No, this actually doesn't. This actually is not how I'm normally calling this. Okay, hard code or use a variable. How do you get environment? This is not actually at all. No, you know what? I'm gonna keep it like this. Sorry, I'm like really trying to think this out. System name, okay. Oh yeah. In order to do that, we need to actually get your actual type. So this would be like system type. Yep. Okay. I'm going to show how this client can be used, can be consumed from a front end React component. Boy, does that front end really need a all right, I'm going to do it. Back. We're going to do nil, and then we're going to do use. Really got to think about this. Let me look at my front end, because I'm certainly doing this right now. Although I probably would do it just a smidge different. Context. Services is authenticated. Access token. Right. But what we actually need is we need a context. Node and layers context. Load system. Yeah. Trying to find. Sorry, I can't show you this code. I'm trying to find. Kind of there's a kind of an order of operations. So it's like you want this context, and then you know what? Let me actually search this. What I need to be doing is just looking at straight up like proper examples. Oh, I see. Context. Oh. Okay, so what I want it to do is where's that? Okay. use node in layers context. Okay, so we have nil. What do we have? Because we're actually now have kind of ported this stuff over in the toolkit, or at least started it, I guess. No, templating, templates, front end, source, nil, node in layers context. So we're going to bring this guy in, node in layers context. Okay. Yeah, then it's gonna load it all up. Okay, and then use node in layers context. Of course, I spelled it wrong. Source SDK services JS TS. We start in an SDK domain in your front end and the services layer of that. So then what this is going to do is you're going to be able to do context.sdk.services get client. No, it's already there. So it's got context services. That's kind of interesting. Create client, await. Oh. Right, this is new. I totally forgot about this. I totally forgot that you can do asynchronous layers now. I don't know why I did. I might have did it for this specific reason right here. Okay, well. All right, copy pasting the code straight up. Your SDK. Okay. Create client. Create config. No. Yep. This is your config type for your front end. Import these from your common pattern of code for handling authentication to the client. When authorization is updated, like logging in, it recreates the client Okay. I don't need that. Oh, yeah. So what we did, OAuth2 token, we did that. And then what are the other things we needed to pass in? The only things we needed to pass in were that or OAuth2. So we don't need that. Okay. All right. Let's do this. Client. I normally use the word SDK. Client. It doesn't matter. SDK services get client. Actually, don't need to do that. What do we want to do? First, let's do this, and then let's do component. Okay, and then obviously you want to do like React from React. And then if client dot is authenticated equals false, return, something like this. And then you might do like, why don't we do this? Health. No, not health. Let's do health. Check bar. All right. So we're not. What we want to do is we want to do a health set health equals use state undefined, and then import here, we'll just keep it simple. All right, and then what we want to do is you got to do it up here. Use effect. I'm gonna put a little thingy in here. We'll just do that. Keep it simple. And what we'll do is check health. Async response equals client dot health dot I don't know, check health. Await, and then we do set health response. I don't know what we want to do here. Span, and then we'll just do health. Let me look at the example that I'm giving because I've just refactored all this so that it uses kind of the latest of the latest of the latest. Get health. What on earth is this? Get logged route. Oh, that's old. Status. Okay. We would check for dot error here. Normally, we would check for dot error here before using. Okay. Unknown. All right. So there we go. There it is. TSX. Oh, I guess we should be looking over here. Be nice looking. Okay. Unknown. Otherwise, we do that. My health. Okay. Oh, no. This is the front end. Yeah, I think this would be better to do it like this. 4. I don't know what you're saying there. TypeScript. What is this? How to use? Cool. All right, so now we really got our code in here, and I think we're pretty good. I'm trying to think if there's anything left on this. So we've about an hour and a half in on this refactor and this cleanup. This is really needed. I'd say even on my own, I'd rather pull this out and reuse this code elsewhere. You know, we need to should run our prettier. Let's run our ESLint. It might complain at us. Ooh, broken. That's not good. Allowed short circuit. Oh man, I've seen this junk before. Let's ask AI. I've seen this. Let's drag. I gotta bring it up. MCP Client. Boom. I don't care. Yes, I've done a lot of development. I've probably spent hundreds of dollars. You know, I didn't even think about it. Start thinking about my AI costs. I'm probably floating around $200 a month, not including any services, just APIs, stuff like running Cursor and whatnot. I probably need to talk about the connect and disconnect. I don't even know if am I even using a disconnect? I don't think I am. I put it in here, but nope, it's not even exposed, I don't think. Oh, look at that. It's actually taking a look at my MCPs and start here. No resources found. No MCP resources available. Wow. Why? Super weird. So this is what it's like for anybody out there who's new to development. This is it. I mean, I'm not really sure much more to say other than poking at live systems and whatnot. But if you're writing code and what is that experience like? It's literally this. I've done this like a million hours now. You know, just cranked out another. Whoa, 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 whoa. What are you doing? This is okay. Yeah, no unused expressions. Like, dude, get real. I definitely want that. So, you need to fix it. So these are, this is what we do. We're getting closer to the point where I would want to create unit tests on this, because now we're talking about consumed code that you'd be relying on that somebody might break, on whether or not the authentication has changed or something like that. I could see wanting to do that. Now it is TypeScript, so it improve. It's kind of interesting. I haven't attempted to build a node and layer system with JavaScript, I think, in a long time. Since I first started the project, it was definitely like you could totally do it with regular ESM. What is this thing talking about? Yes, undo that, rerun it. Okay, this is really starting to tick me off. I'm just going to put it in ask mode, and then I'm going to ask Claude instead of ChatGPT. Sometimes Claude is just better. I don't know. I don't code with Claude. Line 167. Oh, okay. Interesting. It's basically claiming that I'm using no unused expressions. Oh. Is that what the other one did? Oh, no. It did something else. This doesn't make any sense, though, because I run this stuff all the time. So why is it all of a sudden broken? ESLint is a particularly annoying one. Cannot read properties. When I remove it and add, it still fails. Yeah. Basically, many years ago, I went exhaustively through a bunch of ESLint things, like all of these, and just added them in there. Tried to make it as strict as I could without it being stupid. But I have definitely run into so many issues with ESLint in the last couple of years. Oh my gosh, the number, especially going from a lower version to a higher version, and it's just. I mean, TypeScript, I like it, but gosh, man, some of the tooling, some of these teams are like really not talking, and they're so pivotal to many projects. And so ESLint and TypeScript, ESLint, these are some bad dudes sometimes. Okay. All right, let me try your fix. It worked. Okay, I don't want to run your thing. Yes, close the chat. All right, so now we got to fix all this. Oh, I apparently don't have that installed. Node and layers, MCP Client, npm. I'm going to kind of install it just off screen here. Model, context, protocol, SDK. Okay, let's rerun our ESLint. What is this? Source types. Don't need that. And oh, it's over here. Okay, fix a couple issues. Let's close all this. MCP services. Nope, it doesn't have Axios. npm install UUID. That's a really nice library. 17. Oh. Okay. 36. Oh. It's actually not the issue, but it's close. We're going to do no return await. I agree. I don't know why. It's totally not needed, but for some reason, like I said, Zod, I totally remember putting that in there going like, I don't understand. Oh, we don't have Lodash. That's crazy. Boom, I think we're clean. Sweet. Unused directive. What? You just complained. Oh, now where is that? Data services. Oh. Let's just make sure our build works. Ta-da! More support for MCP capabilities and MCP clients. And there it goes. Boom. Nice thing about that is this is pretty robust. There's a lot of stuff here. You know, I'm going to go. All the things that we really needed it to do are there now. I mean, I think the last time I touched MCP Client was quite a long time ago. I probably updated some of its underlying dependencies and all that kind of stuff. But this is the kind of code that's going to sit there for quite a while and just work and work and work. I hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe you learned something. You know, I talked a lot about kind of the thinking behind this and, you know, what we're going to do next. You know, once I turn this video off, I'm probably going to turn another video on, and we're going to go and integrate this code into a basic SDK client in the toolkit. So you'll be able to see basically like the examples here. I'm pretty much going to copy paste them. And when you go and you create your system with node and layers, or you create an SDK, it will just automatically have it'll have kind of the templated stuff for doing like a health, and all you got to do is just, you know, copy what it's doing for what you're attempting to do, and that's pretty much about it. Oh, what I should do, I'll do another video. I think what I should do is actually put the MCP client into an MCP tool for a knowledge layer on using it, like how to build a client. I got to think about this. Maybe I'll do that. I may not get stuck in the weeds on it, but that would be really nice because I could see then AI would know about the SDK and like the nature of that thing. But I might do that. Maybe I'll do that in the toolkit rather than having like a million different tools or something like that. Knowledge tools. I've been even thinking about just doing a node in layers knowledge knowledge function. That way, any and all the kind of like official node and layers packages are covered by it, and it could do its own searching or put it all together. But that's it for now. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.